The Louis Vuitton Escale collection is back, but not as you've known it in the past. It's now even more inspired by trunk making, and it has a time-only display. Today, we're discovering the second step with the relaunch of the Escale collection. But it's not exactly the watch we knew in the past. It's now the brand's vision of a classic, round, dressy time-only watch with a twist. And the twist is given by a strong LV trunk inspiration. Still named after the brand's motto of travel and celebrating the 10th anniversary of the collection, the new Escale is all about fine details and trunk-making inspiration. The Louis Vuitton Escale collection was first designed in 2014 with the launch of a rather emblematic watch, the Escale Worldtime. The name, Escale, which could be translated to stopover in English, was synonymous with travel and already gave an idea of what to expect. The display dial design were strong statements too, with multiple hand-painted, geometric pictograms both defining the Worldtime function and the reference to the trunks. One of the main design cues of the Escale has long been the lugs. They were shaped like the corner pieces of Vuitton trunks. Over its 10 years of existence, the Escale has been made in multiple versions, including a simpler time zone model and highly complex Worldtime minute repeater, and also several iterations with the spin time complication. Earlier this year, Vuitton unveiled the Escale Cabinet of Wonders, a trilogy of métiers d'art timepieces inspired by the collections of Gaston Louis Vuitton. Impressive regarding the execution of the dial, what mattered most was that this trilogy teased the new Escale collection, which is now presented as the classic, time-only and elegant watch of the brand. For its return, the Louis Vuitton Escale has changed. It's not the traveler's watch we've come to know in the past with the signature flags. It is now a classic round watch with a time-only display. However, there are still multiple references to the brand trunks. And this is what Vuitton has worked on to give the new Escale its personality. Let's talk about the case first, as this is where the connection between the past model and the new edition is the strongest. The Escale time-only watch comes with a relatively restrained proportions that you expect from an elegant watch, 39mm in diameter, 10mm in thickness. It's not pure dress watch territory, but compact and thin enough to bring an elegant, sophisticated feel. Framed by sapphire crystals on both sides, with a polish and dome bezel, it's mostly the side of the case that brings the twist. The central part of the case is satin brushed and classically round. But the most important element of all Escale watches are the lugs, which have been kept alive. They resemble the angles and the riveted exterior of the brass brackets and corners from iconic LV trunks. They are finished manually with contrasting surfaces relative to their adjacent element. Polished and brushed surfaces with an appealing polished bevel. There's also decorative rivets, another reference to the trunks. The back of the Escale also features a typical LV touch with a plaque engraved with the brand's serial number, yet another element found in custom-made trunks. And the sapphire crystal reveals the movement, but more on that later. For the launch of the collection, the Vuitton Escale is presented in 4 editions. The most classic has a rose gold case with a silver tone dial. The same case can also be fitted with a grain build dial. There are also 2 high-end platinum editions, one of which you can see here, with a meteorite dial, and another one with baguette-cut diamonds on the bezel and black onyx dial. They're all worn on leather straps, closed by a pink buckle matching the case material. And while the straps of the blue and the meteorite are classic calf leather, the strap of the silver dial version is worth mentioning. It's again strongly influenced by the world of LV. It's done in a classic camel tone nomad leather, with the yellow stitchings and a natural calf leather lining. Let's talk about the dials now, because here too, the references to the trunks are everywhere. However, we're talking about small details and nothing gimmicky or blatant. The idea was to implement discrete references to LV without compromising the elegance. If we take the example of the silver dial, which is probably going to become the cornerstone of the collection, there's quite a lot going on. The two-tone dial comprises a grain central part, which is done by a stamped process, which is again a reference to the texture of the brand's monogram canvas. It is framed by a gold-tone groove and a satin-finished minute chapter ring. A distinctive element, the main markers at 3, 6, 9 and 12 o'clock are applied gold elements, once again inspired by the trunk corners. Then, the minute track is composed of small gold studs, which are reminiscent of the studs framing the trunks. Time is indicated by solid gold faceted Dauphine hands and titanium second hand with PVD treatment. The latter has a bend tip to follow the curve of the dial. The Meteorite Platinum version is far more monochromatic in its look, with white gold markers and hands. A nice touch, which is also found on the Tambour, is the Fab en Suisse mentioned instead of the classic Swiss made. Looking through the case back, you will see the caliber LFT 023, the same micro-rotor automatic movement as found in the new Tambour. Designed by La Fabrique du Temps and manufactured by Le Cercle des Horlogers, it has been slightly modified to accommodate the central second. Interestingly, it comes with a chronometer certification by the Geneva Observatory and thus an accuracy between -4 and +6 seconds per day. For the rest, the movement is won by a 22-karat gold and engraved micro-rotor, runs at a modern frequency of 4 Hz, and stores a comfortable power reserve of 50 hours. It is nicely finished too, with sandblasted bridges, large diamond polished bevels, and a barrel shaped like a monogram flower, and a circular grain main-plate. And like the Tambour of last year, the Louis Vuitton Escale is delivered in a trunk that has all the classic elements of LV. With the Escale, Louis Vuitton once again wants to move into another category of the industry, looking at classic luxury players. The Escale is a more traditional, elegant take on the time-only watch, yet with many discrete references to classic LV design codes. And considering this new positioning, it also has a price to match. In rose gold, it is priced at 28,500 euros, and platinum with meteorite version comes at 38,000 euros. Overall, it's a very nice watch with elegance and a twist. On a more personal note, I'm a bit sad not to have that emblematic flag-inspired, hand-painted dial of the Time Zone and Worldtime Escale models. But who knows? Maybe if we ask it loud enough, it will come back. For now, we have this new and rather elegant time on the Escale.